What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. This is another virtual workshop. My name is Reginald Titus Jr. I'm the executive director for Grind Over Matter Foundation. Today, we're joined with Charles City Gbadebo. What's going on, sir? Real quick, anybody, if this is like your first time tuning in, I'm real quick about our foundation. We're about having representation in front of and behind the camera. And the way that we do this by having like these virtual workshops, having educational pieces, having our scholarship program, which takes young kids and college people and young adults that are interested in becoming drone pilots and paying for scholarships for that. And also we provide media services as well. So just wanted to kind of run it by you. Also, don't forget that tomorrow's Giving Tuesday. So we'll have another presentation tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time. Real quick, Charles, is it possible you can unmute? I just want to make sure that everything's good on your end.
Check. Can you hear me?
Okay, cool. Yeah, we ready to rock and roll. Okay, cool. So real quick, let's go into the bio of Charles City Gbadebo. So Charles City is the aerial drone solution specialist, chief pilot, Dallas-based entrepreneur and professional photographer, videographer, providing professional aerial and ground photography and video production services for the AEC industry, events, groups, organizations, and much more for over 15 years. He's also the founder, president of Skystream Aerial LLC, a Federal Aviation Administration FAA certified Part 107 pilot for 7 years, as well as a professional artist, a visual content creator who was committed to providing clients with excellence and creative, innovative solutions for their projects. Hey man, you got a lot going on, brother.
Thank you, sir.
On when we do our virtual workshops, we jump right into it. So tell us, what does it mean to be a drone pilot? What is that?
Being a drone pilot, I guess it kind of sets you out there above a lot of, I won't say a lot of those who are not, but basically you have a set of skills that, people are actually looking for. Sometimes people don't even know that they're looking for it till they see it. And then, to say that you're able to do that, it's a good feeling knowing that you're able to do these things, create some things for some clients that you have to be licensed to do. So
when I remember, I can't remember what year this was. Maybe it was like 2011, when I started seeing a lot of drones. And I don't know if people were exactly licensed at that time. How has the industry changed? Because I was shooting a lot of weddings at one point in time. So you would have guys that would have their drones and they're flying it everywhere and they're like crashing into buildings, all kinds of stuff. So what changes have you seen in the industry from the early days? These pilots coming on these drones coming onto the scene.
So being able to be licensed started back in 2016. Pilots that were flying before then, of course, they were doing whatever. I found out about being a drone pilot when I was actually on a movie set and I saw a drone on the set. I was like, yo, what is that? Like that's dope. But let me say from what I've seen, even in its infancy, before being licensed, people were not able to do well. People that were doing things which like, hold on, that don't seem right. I understand why. Once you go through the training, or once I went through the training, I understood why people had to be licensed. It's like driving a car, right? So if you're licensed to drive a car, doesn't mean you're a perfect driver, but at least you know the rules. The people who were not licensed, that are not licensed, there's no rules. Like that's why they were able to do what they want. People tying guns to drones, you know what I'm saying? And
seriously
doing yes,
wow.
Seriously. And then also there's a reason why that 400-foot rule is there, because people are actually taking drones up there in Class A airspace where Delta flies, Spirit Airlines. That's the Class A is where the major airlines, that's their airspace. Well, if you're taking a drone up there, I think the analogy that someone gave me was, what if your grandmother was on that plane and that someone's just going 10,000, 20,000 feet in the air, and it goes into the engine of one of those planes. Um,
Wow.
that's a lot of reckless going. That's pretty much been the biggest change is not being
Okay.
able to go crazy with it like that.
Right. Because I remember there was footage online with guys going through fireworks and running into like
Oh
the
yeah,
buildings, like
yeah,
downtown, going into the
yeah,
buildings. Like actually running into that. Like I can only
yeah.
imagine if that falls into traffic, what might happen. Was there like a time when uh the government was like, okay, we're done. This is it. You will have to be licensed. Was there like an incident that caused that?
Um, not even one incident. It was just it was really a way that yeah, people were doing a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
They were just not just and so once I like in my training, you find out about these things.
Hmm.
You learn about cases, and I'm like, oh
Right.
man, that was stupid.
Yeah.
Like but
Yeah.
if your plan is to use this for the right reasons, yeah, you're gonna look at some things and say, yeah, that was stupid. Like, why would you? Who would even think of that? Well, the people who do malicious things, they'll take something for good and do something bad with it, as in our
Hmm.
human nature already with everything else.
So what have you seen? Okay, so there was a period of time when nobody was licensed and everybody was just kind of going crazy. Then it came a point where you had to be licensed, and that's where we are right now. What have you
Mhm.
seen as opportunities because of the licensing?
Um, Opportunity wise, it's kind of tricky. Some people,
Hmm.
you know, everybody knows you have to be licensed to drive a car.
Right.
But just think about it, not everybody knows you have to be licensed to fly a drone because
Hmm.
it's their perception. The drone is looked at as a toy to a lot of people. So, oh
Right.
yeah, I'll give my little cousin to fly that, you know, and then um, in the professional world,
Hmm.
if you have your license, yes, they're being taught real quick, maybe by fines,
Hmm.
that hey, no, you can't do that. You got to have somebody who's licensed to do that.
Hmm.
And actually, I like that,
Yeah.
because you do run into some people, even on construction companies. Oh yeah, Tim, he has a drone. Well, Tim
Hmm.
is a project manager. That's what his thing is. He's being a drone pilot is a whole. It's a whole job. It's a whole
Right.
job.
Uh-huh.
So the opportunities definitely come up more when you tell people and let them know, hey, yes, I am licensed, but
Hmm.
besides that, I also say I'm licensed, I'm skilled, and professional. So
Hmm.
the other thing you run into is people that have licenses. Not everyone that has a license knows how to fly, because the
Okay.
license doesn't teach you how to fly; it just teaches you the rules of flying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think the best way that somebody that doesn't know anything about flying that's interested in getting into it, what do you think is probably in your opinion the best way to kind of get into it where they're getting hands-on training and then also passing the test? What do you think is the best way to bring them in?
The best way to bring them in is, to get training on one, passing the test, taking
Hmm.
the test, passing it. Um, but with me, I would take it a step further where with myself, I didn't just go study for the test a week or 2 weeks. I literally took the material and just almost became the material for 5 months. So
Okay.
at the end of that time, like I didn't want to go back and do a retake.
Right.
I didn't want
Right.
to retake it. So,
Hmm.
and I knew that after I finished, that I would be talking to some of us about
Yeah.
getting a license, and then I didn't want anyone to question me and I mess up. So I had to
Yeah.
make sure I knew like you can ask me a question, I can tell you,
Okay.
So I knew like the back of my hand. That's my take on it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would tell them to get training, pass the test, but just like myself and others in the field and any
Hmm.
other profession, you've got to continue to learn. You
Hmm.
got to train. Um, it's really not one of those things where you pick up the drone every now and then because other photographers they'll tell me I haven't picked up that drone in 6 months. You know, they're
Really?
trying to sell. They're trying to sell it on, you know, Craigslist, and
Yeah.
you know, you'll see drones right now on Facebook Marketplace. You know,
Is that because like now that everybody has to be licensed, are people like kind of like just not getting a license and so they just have a bunch of drones sitting at the house, or and have people been cracking down on people that are flying without licenses?
they are cracking down. They are cracking
Mm-hmm.
down. And one of my goals, when you say that too, one of my goals, excuse me, was that I tell people that I don't want anyone to be made an example of that I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna tell my frat brother, hey bro, like just get your license. I'm not trying to take any money out of your pocket. It's just get your license. I want you to make it, because then I want to be able to hire you on a project that I got coming up and be able to trust you on it, because my insurance is at stake.
Right.
So yeah, I forgot what
Makes
the other
sense.
question was.
I'm just because now that everybody has license, are people just like, all right, I don't want to risk it, and so they just have their drones just in the inventory now?
I
Are
think
they
it's
like,
more so that could be some of it. That could be part of it. I think it's more so
mm,
that they don't understand how much time goes into it.
oh, interesting.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so you see, like even when I'm flying, I get on the
Mm-hmm.
I get on the simulator, and that's the other
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like if you're training to be a pilot for an airline, whatever,
Yeah.
or helicopter, you got to spend so many. You have to spend so many hours in the simulator. You know,
Wow.
and that's I'm sure you're going through. I haven't gone for that license yet, but even
Mm-hmm.
doing drones, like you crashing so much, so you get those crashes out. So
Yeah.
I can take more risks
Yeah.
when I'm ready, when it's game day. Yeah, I relate to football, so
Yeah. Yeah.
practice. You can get burnt in practice as much, but
Yeah.
uh, but on game day, you can take a
Mm-hmm.
risk of swatting that ball down. So that's how I am
Oh,
when it comes to flying. Um, I'm on venues. I'm flying through the
yeah.
restaurants with thousands of dollars of equipment that they have, but they're watching that drone, making sure I don't hit
Yeah.
those lights. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can't go
Absolutely. Yeah. Boy, that'd be a costly job.
yeah,
What I've noticed in the industry is when I first got in, I just know like the plain Jane drones that are flying around. But recently I've seen you like on a movie set, and you had like the goggles on. You had the goggles on, and like you
yeah.
can see what the drone is seeing, like a video game. You got to talk about that because I didn't
Yeah.
know that was a thing.
So this particular drone that I have now with me is one of the latest drones. It's a DJI Avata.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm not in no way promoting them, but because I have like 6 different drones.
Mm-hmm.
This is just one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of outfitted out with the some protection and whatnot. But what you were talking about with these goggles, it allows you to see what the drone is. This is FPV,
Mm-hmm.
FPV, first person view. It allows you to see what the drone sees right off the bat. Not using a screen, but y'all gotta excuse me. I'm here with my parents. Um, but you can actually see the screen as far as what the in the goggles what the drone is seeing first
Right.
hand. So yeah, it's pretty dope. It's very
Yeah.
immersive. That's the whole point. It's very immersive.
Yeah, because like with those early drones, people were crashing in and stuff. They didn't know. They were just like looking, everybody's like dodging. But now, like with that, man, that's pretty cool, like to see that and from that perspective. So introspective, they had a question. Um, how much does it cost to get a license?
The license fee now, I believe it's 160.
Okay.
160. The license is good for 2 years. The new thing that they actually passed lately was that you don't have to continue paying for the license when you go and renew it. So you pay that
Mm-hmm.
160, take the test, pass it. Now every 2 years you just come take a refresher.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know any other industry where you do that. You go get your renewal for your license, even your driver's license. You go renew that, money. You got to pay. Yeah. This right here, I don't know how they did it, why they did it that way, but works out.
And then Introspective also said, what kind of jobs can you get? What are some jobs that people may not know about? Because like I mentioned, like weddings and like on the movie set, but like what are the jobs that people may not even know about that you can get by getting your license?
Wow, I've actually done quite a bit. So inspections, bridge inspections. One of my largest gigs that I did, and it's public knowledge. So one of my largest gigs that I did was for a bridge engineering company. Excuse me. I got paid $7,000, $7,500, and I only flew for about 45 minutes doing a bridge inspection. Wow! But because I knew what to do. That's the other thing. I prepared. I knew what to do, and that's one. So bridge inspections, tower inspections, agriculture. I had to let them know that I'm on a call. Bridge inspections, tower inspections, mapping. You can actually map properties. I've done quite a bit. A lot of construction. Okay. Basically doing progress photos and videos of a site as it's being built. I've actually on one site in Fort Worth. I was on that site every month for like 2.5 years, so they could watch the growth. As far as
I get it. So the people are actually using your data, so they don't have to actually go there. Say somebody that's on the project they might be in another city or something like that, and that they can use your footage to kind of see what's going on.
Exactly. I would actually do photo, or so like on construction, you can do photos around the project, the same photos every month, and then I'll go through and I'll map the site. So with the drone, you can actually make what we call a digital twin. So you map the site, and you're able to look at that particular project as if you're looking at Google Maps, but then how you can turn it around in 3D and see all the different aspects of that site. Different trade partners that are on that project can have access to that data to see what's happening. Are we running on time? Is there a lot of dirt that's supposed to be moved that hasn't been moved? So a lot of data analytics goes into that, and the drone usage makes that so much easier and so much faster to make decisions. Yeah.
Can you talk about how because things have changed, and then like the continuous like education, because I've also I've seen I don't know if there's some military, are there military opportunities as well with drones, and what's the importance of like just continuing education, like going to conferences, networking, things like that for this particular industry?
Okay, so as far as the military side of it, anything that's out there right now, the military been doing it.
Okay. Okay. Now, all right, y'all.
Yeah. So for me to even get like a gig in military, like they're beyond what I'm thinking of. I have to be in the military to get
you.
That's
Okay. Got it in the list.
Right. What was the second question you asked me?
Just like how important is like the continuing education, and like are there conferences? Like how is this industry kind of leveling itself up to be ready for the next thing?
Yes. So yes, there are some major conferences when it comes to, whether it's DJI, Autel, all these different manufacturers, service providers. There's the companies that make the rotors, the propellers, all the parts of the drone. I've actually gotten to meet like the CEOs and the marketing personnel from these companies at these conferences. Um, I have a goal in mind, so I do go to these conferences, get more educated on what they have going on, different products they have coming out. The more you network in the industry, the more you network within that industry, the better you actually become. You know, your company becomes too, because then they start to uh, talk to you about, hey, can we send you this latest drone? Can you test it out for us and see how it's doing on your projects and give us some feedback? So those are some things that I'm going after. So yes, it's very important to keep up with the educational piece, going to these conferences, seeing what products these guys got coming out, giving them that feedback, taking their certified. Some of these companies have certified testing that lets you become an official, you know, um, DJI this or an
Okay.
official. I mean, there's other software out there that you could take or learn and become a master at that software. And so, as you're in the industry, different clients will recognize that certification, and that's even beyond what the FAA is even offering. So
Wow.
yeah, you get that license, but that license is just the beginning. Like it's just the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, get you in the door. We have a quick
Right.
question from Casey Smith. How competitive is the industry and how are jobs found? And has your work led to more referrals? You want me to leave that?
Yes. Yeah. Leave it up. Yes. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
The industry is, as far as the competition, how can I say this? It's competitive, but there's so much work out there.
Mm.
Um, I'll actually get called out to be on someone's team. So
Okay.
they're not afraid of me taking the
Mm-hmm.
client like that. It's like, hey, we know that you've got skills. They know they can trust me because you have to have, certain project or most projects you have to have insurance by the company, so they can
Right.
trust me by being on that work site. Um, uh, it can be competitive, but at the same time, I can go for a job. Me, A, B, and C company can go for a job. Let's just say,
Mm-hmm.
and I get it. Well, I can still
Mm-hmm.
rely on B and C. Say, hey, I got the project. Um,
Right.
do you have any guys that's available? So we network like that. So it's
Okay.
not like I'm going to come in and take all the jobs from,
It's
you
not like
know,
cutthroat. It's competitive, but it's not
it's,
cutthroat.
right. Yeah. Thank you. That's it.
And then he
Um,
also mentioned how are jobs found?
Jobs are found by going to grinding, definitely grinding, and going to these networking events. That's how
Mm-hmm.
jobs are found. That's how I've been finding them.
Okay.
I go to these construction events, um,
Ooh.
and necessarily they're not looking for. Hey, I need a. Well, when I first started, no, they weren't. I would step
Mm-hmm.
into a room and they're like, "Okay, what are you talking about?" And
Yeah.
so I had to educate for like years. I had to educate them before I even started getting contracts,
Mm-hmm.
getting jobs. I had to educate a lot. Now it's starting to be customary to say, okay, we need to make sure we have some drone visuals because they want to use it for marketing and they also want to use it for data, capturing data and data analysis. But that's one way how jobs are found. The other way jobs are found is basically depending on what you're doing, what you're looking to do. Not everybody's like me because
Mm-hmm.
some people say stay in your niche. That works
Mm-hmm.
for some people. It don't work for me. But they say stay in your niche. If your niche is weddings, okay, I've actually networked with other photographers and shooting weddings that they have, being like a second shooter. Um, I found gigs by like restaurants. I fly. So the other thing I do now is I fly restaurants off the FPV
Mm-hmm.
drone.
Yeah.
I'm skilled enough where I can fly into buildings and whatnot. So
Mm-hmm.
those are referrals where um, I show them those visuals, and then when they see that, oh, hold on, you flew into the Jewel Hotel? Okay,
Right.
you down, you
Yeah.
can't do that and not be questioned by somebody of authority. Like, okay, do you have your license? They'll try to check you, and then once you check off, you're like, okay, he legit.
Let's see what you got. Do you have like one of those small looking drones? Because I've seen a video where somebody like they flew into like a bowling alley, like in the gutter and all kinds of stuff. Do you have one of those little small ones?
I do. So this one is not as small, but I do have 2 other drones. It's just about what you're talking about is just about as big as the middle of this drone.
Wow!
So it can sit on top of here, like it's that small. I don't have those with me here. They're at the studio, but those I fly. I can go into like wooden, like little wooden chairs, like hit those little gaps of wooden chairs, or hit the gaps on a fence at a farm, and just hit those gaps with those types of drones. So yeah, I do have those.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
I know that you kind of have a hard out at 7:30. Want to respect your time and everything. Is there anything that we need to cover before we close out?
Best thing I can say is, I think I kind of touched it before. Getting your license is just the beginning. Once you get your license, as we said before, getting the education, networking. It's just like any other business. It's just like any other business. Nothing different. It's just a different platform. It's something that when people see it, their eyes get big and ideas start coming to them when they see that video. So you only remember the video I did with the casting call. When I flew through the casting call, Bid for Love casting call. People saw that.
Yes.
And
that was cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So like anybody that what he's talking about, we were on set at shooting a movie. I think it was like last summer or something before last, and Charles is flying throughout the whole studio, and like were we like standing in place? We were just working, and he's flying this drone around us. It's like you want to like move or whatever, but you can't, so you don't want to make the video weird. But it was cool. It took a lot of skill for you to do that and go around the whole studio like that. That was pretty cool. It was exciting. Yeah. How can they contact you if they need to know more about your work?
I have an Instagram, which is So City. I'm actually building the Skystream Instagram, which is Skystream Aerial. But I can be reached via email at skystreamaerial@gmail.com. Skystreamaerial@gmail.com.
Perfect. And anybody that's listening, again, it's Grind Over Matter Foundation. Keep in mind tomorrow is Giving Tuesday, so 7 p.m. Y'all tune in. We get to meet the board, and we're going to talk more about our programs. So we'll be partnering with Charles as part of our drone scholarship program. So he'll be doing the training and then getting the people that go into our scholarship program ready to be certified. And of course, that's the beginning of the process. So, but you got to get that out the way. So if anybody's interested in donating to that, just go to grindovermatter.org. At the very top, you'll see like a yellow strip, and it's our liftoff campaign. Just click there and, just donate 10, 20, $50, whatever you got. And we'll be more than happy to kind of help out with the scholarship program. Charles, we're appreciative for helping us out and everything that you're doing, man. So I look forward to working with you. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you all.
You're welcome. All right. You have a good one. Catch y'all later.
All right.